All right, so we are going to talk about actual injection sites for IM. When you get tested for it for your VAT, you will be actually giving the medication, preparing the medication in the med room, which is just outside the curtain here, with the med cart, and then you'll wheel it on in. Everything will be labeled, ready to go. It will be a mannequin. It will look just like this. These mannequins are set up so that there's only one deltoid and it's in the right arm. There's 2 of these sites, and those are called the
thighs,
Ventrolateral.
vastus lateralis. Okay. And then this one here,
Ventrogluteus.
Okay, it's ventral gluteus is only on the left side of the mannequin. Okay, so you'll always give that one on the left. If you're asked to give a deltoid, it'll be on the right. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you turn it over here, there ain't nothing there to go into. So. Oh, sure. So those are the 3 possible sites you'll have. You will only give an IM injection in one site. However, you will still have to give the positioning for the other 2 sites. But it's who's ever evaluating you. It's luck of the draw. If you say, okay, give me a shot in the ladder. Give me, oh, thanks. Give your mannequin a shot in the vastus lateralis, but then you'll still have to give descriptions of how you would find landmarks for the other 2 sites. When, I think we talked briefly about Sharps containers way back when, but it is costly, and it is the law from the Center for Disease Control that nothing goes in here other than Sharps. So it could be the glass bottles from phlebotomy, it could be needles, but when you take out an IV, it's really just a plastic Cathlon with oxide on it, and you can see why, because I right now have a Cathlon in here that got stuck because it has the oxide in it. What kind of problems could I have with that one? How might that give me grief?
Other things won't be able to go in there.
Right, and maybe I put a real needle in there and it gets stuck and it flips up. Okay, there's no reason for that to be in there. It's not even, it's plastic. Okay, it's got
Those students.
Beaumont just got dinged for that, actually.
Those upperclassmen, pardon me?
6th floor got dinged for that at Beaumont.
Yeah.
They were putting stuff in the Sharps container they weren't supposed
Yeah,
to.
plus they get paid, and Beaumont is religious about checking for,
The hand sanitizers.
yeah, in and out, wash in, wash out. And they actually, when I was there last May with LPN students, they were actually just putting all of the sanitizers outside of the rooms in addition to inside. Now, St. V's has been doing that for years, and it's in a really good spot. You walk in, it's right there on the door. You walk out, it's right there on the other side of the door. Toledo Hospital, the brand new, I don't know if you've been to Toledo at all, but this unit's only 5 years old. I mean, they built this huge tower. It's only 5 years old. They have the hand sanitizer. When you walk in the room, it's not like where it should be. It's like over there in the corner or over there to the right. And then when you walk out of the room, they have this huge unit. And this is post-open heart, okay? It's post-open heart. These patients come here 12 hours later. There's like maybe 6 sanitizers, and it's a 30-bed unit.
Oh wow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and they're not even strategically placed. It's like you walk out of the room, it's like, well, where do I find the hand sanitizer for this one? And this is Toledo Hospital. The Toledo Hospital. So it just kind of bugged me.
I mean, it's not even a costly thing on the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Just no. It was definitely the guys from Johns Manville or whatever, putting them up. Oh, this is a good spot. It wasn't. Nobody had any say in it, obviously.
Wow.
If
I know we have them in both in and out in the ER. I don't know about the other floors
Yeah.
in DMC though.
Yeah. So, well, probably if they did it in the ER like that, then I'm sure the rest of the hospital set up like that. But I was really disappointed with Toledo. I haven't been there in like 9 years, so we didn't even have hand sanitizer. Which is embarrassing to say. But anyway, so those are Sharps containers. What I want you to remember about Sharps containers is, one, be conscientious about the full line, because you don't want to get poked. Okay, that's the whole reason for doing it, and then they get locked when they are full. I had a student once that went to put her needle in there, and the lid came to jam, so she took her left hand to do it, and she poked herself. I screamed. I don't know if any of you have been in here, but I scared very easily. And it really scared me, and I screamed. But I'm just telling you that because you know, she was this 19-year-old girl from Putnam County, Ohio, you know, come to the big city metropolis of Toledo, Ohio. She was freaking out. I was freaking out because it wasn't just a plain old patient that spoke. You know, it had to be the patient that was on dialysis that had a history of hepatitis. So then she had to go down to employee house. And this is 1984, okay? So, I mean, we you know, AIDS was still huge out there. So, I mean, she was a nervous wreck. She had to go to employee house. She had to get blood drawn. She had to get on meds. She had to, you know, go for her checkups. So I mean, it was involved. It was nerve-wracking. So I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. But who do you think's at greater risk? Who has the highest amount of needle sticks? You think at the hospital? Of all the staff in the hospital?
The nurses.
Housekeeping.
Oh.
Housekeeping. You know why? Because we're lazy. We start IVs or we're working in the ER. We're doing stuff and we're setting stuff down in the bed.
Don't get them.
And we're not picking up after ourselves. So really be conscientious of that because those are the people, you know, we need to take care of those people. I mean, they're subjecting themselves to a lot more than they really need to.
And the shops, they're not always red either. Because
That's right, they
because
might need
ours, we
a
just
white
changed
case.
over. Ours is green.
Oh, really?
They just changed over everything, yeah. The green.
Interesting. What was the logic for the green? I'm curious.
They're totally different style.
Huh.
I don't know. It was about 6 months ago they changed over and got rid of the red ones and brought in this. I don't know if it was a different contractor they went with or what.
You're talking about the actual
The sharp container. Everything. The whole style is completely different.
Really?
Can you just take over for me for a minute? I'm just showing them the foam core board, the gloves.
Okay, let's look at the foam core board. This gives us an example of some of the different sizes of the needles and the syringes. And you see up to 25 gauge, 22 gauge. Sometimes you'll have a 1.5 needle or a 5/8 needle or even 1/8. You would look at your patient to determine. Each area would give you, like the deltoid, what inch did your ATI tell you for the length of the needle for the deltoid? 5/8 to 1 inch. Yeah. So you want to be sure that you're using the right length of the needle as well as the right gauge for the medication that you're given. And then for the vastus lateralis, do you remember what size needle it said that you could use there? It's an 18 to a 25 gauge. It's an 18 to a 25 gauge. And you can use, it says 5/8 to 1.5. And again, it depends on the size of your patient. We were just practicing over there, and we were going into the deltoid, and they had like a 1.5, and they hit something. So that tells you it's only supposed to be 5/8 to 1 inch in the deltoid, but because we were using 1.5, it was a perfect example of why you wouldn't use that 1.5. And with somebody who's small or petite, you may even have to use like a 5/8 inch because you don't want to hit the bone, you don't want to go in so far that you're doing some kind of damage. Okay, so they'll give you a range of what you're supposed to use for each of the sites. Then when you have the ventrogluteal there, what size gauge do you think you're supposed to use there?
Oh, that's 5/8 to an inch.
It would be an 18 to a 25 gauge there. And the length of the needle, what do you think it would be?
It was the same length,
It would be
5/8 to
5/8 to
1.5.
1.5. Yeah,
Probably-
depending on the size of your
Probably
patient.
go on the bigger side just because you have a
It's a
little more.
larger muscle.
Mhm.
Right. So this is what you want to kind of pay attention to. You want to know how big it is, depending on the medication that you're giving, the site you're going in, how big the needle is, and the bigger the number, the smaller the bevel. It's kind of like opposite she's just saying with the Foley's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? So you want to pay attention. You don't want to just grab something. You want to know what you're grabbing, why you're grabbing it, for the different, whatever particular site you're going to use.
Why would you want a needle that large? That's
You can
big.
have a really obese patient, you can have a really thick medication.
Okay.
Iron is a really thick medication.
Yeah.
And when you're doing the Z-track, you may need a thicker, you may need a bigger one.
Needle's big,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, but some medications are really, really thick. That's why you do the Z-track with the iron, because it's thick and it can seep out. So you have to make sure you pull that skin back, get the needle in there, and then let it go. So yeah, it depends on the medication, it depends on the patient. All these things as nurses we have to think about.
Yeah, I've heard nurses use 12 and 14 gauges in ER.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
It just depends on what's going on with the patient, okay? So then we have that. What else did she say she wanted me to talk about? She said the cork board. cardboard with the music eyes. Okay, the gloves, you're always gonna make sure you do your proper cleaning of your hands, putting your gloves on before you give the injection. You want to make sure that you're following that with each time you do it, so that when you go to do the vat, you don't mess up, you don't forget. You've got your steps outlined, you're following your steps so that you don't forget anything. Okay, and so we did the core board. We talked about that. Your trash can, you always want to have a trash can close by you. When you have like your alcohol and things to throw away, you can just kind of drop it. You don't want to have to go searching for it. Just like you want to know exactly where your sharps container is when you're getting ready to give an injection. You don't want to have to go with a needle, even though you capped it, stuck up in the air, trying to figure out where your sharps container. Eyeball your room, know what's going on in your room, know where things are. As she was saying, know where your sanitizer is, where you have to go to clean your hands, so you're not just kind of walking around like a zombie with a hand cut off. Okay, now let's talk about the first injection that we're going to get. Everyone has a needle and a syringe.
Oh, in our bags?
Uh-huh.
Probably.
Oh, no, we have some here.
No,
Let's
no,
use
no,
these
no,
here.
no,
Leave
no,
that
no.
there. Is a needle?
Yeah,
And
looks like it.
Here.
We're slacking. Okay, this was going to
Let me
be
grab almost. Let me
my
get syringe.
stash. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Here, give me a syringe. Oh, okay.
So you need a needle?
I got needle. I just didn't have the syringe.
Oh, here's the syringe then. Uh-huh.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so when you want to pull these back, sometimes you have to learn how to use both hands together. So I pull it back like so. You know, just kind of get them both kind of started, you know. You'll learn to use both hands. Now you want to make sure that nothing is touching these, because you pull it out and you're screwing it away. See how it never touched any of the paper, it just went right onto the syringe, and make sure it's tight. When you give that injection and pull it out, you don't want to leave the needle in and just pull the syringe out.
Oh, so now,
Okay, so make sure it's tight.
is it possible to break that doing it too tight?
Yeah, you can as a man, you can, but you just want to make sure it's tight. You can hear it kind of squeaking, and you know that it's on there, okay? So then you do your hands sanitized, you get your gloves on.
With the needle, break it.
Yeah, and again, you have your different gauges depending on your medication. Now, we don't have any medication, so we're just going to pull back. How much medication can we put in this deltoid? What's the maximum amount of medication we can put in here?
Up to 1 milliliter.
1 ml, exactly. So let's pull it back to 1 ml. And we've got our alcohol here. Okay, so how am I measuring the deltoid so I know I'm in the right place? A chromium process, right? 2 to 3 fingers, mid-axilla, and we're coming out.
Okay.
Okay? No more than 1 ml, right? So when we do the Z-track, we're going to use our hand to displace the skin. We want to take it and displace it, give the injection, and then let it go. And we know that our medication is safe in there, and usually it will not seep out, okay? So, again, how do we find the deltoid?
2 to 3 fingers from the chromium process.
Right. And when we've got our site, and we got
Midline from.
right. Okay, we've got our site, so we're going to pull it back. Right. We're going to hold our hand there. We're going to pull it back. We're going to clean with the alcohol. We're going to take the cap off, and you use your index finger and your thumb to hold it, right? Tell your patient, take a deep breath. Do not traumatize your patient. Tell them what's going on, okay? Think about you laying in this bed having to receive this needle. Okay, so we pulled our skin back. We're just going to do a dart
3, 2, 1, stick.
in. Now, on the deltoid, do we have to aspirate?
No.
No,
No.
we do not. So we're going to push our medication in. Are we going to take our time and slowly remove that needle, torturing our patient? We're just going to pull it out, okay? On these, you have a safety mechanism. As soon as this out, close that and let the skin go. And the skin should come back. You should have your 2x2 here, already here where your alcohol was. And you're just gonna put it on there just in case there's a little bleeding coming out, a little medication weeping out. But usually with the Z-track, it's to prevent that. But just in case, be prepared, okay? So we've got this, and you want to immediately get rid of your needle, put it in there, close it, no hands going in, just dropping it and making sure that it's closed, okay? Just like she was showing you that it was on entrance there. You don't want to push it in there. You don't want anything to touch you. You don't want to hit that and it flop back and hit you. I've seen stuff like that happen too. So as nurses, protect your coworkers and protect each other. Make sure you're taking the time to make sure that needle goes all the way down in there. I've seen someone come behind someone else to put that needle in there and then it popped out because the last person that was there didn't take the time to make sure that that needle was in there. It was an ugly sight.
So I
Yeah.
think we only got 15 minutes.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I'm going to give you 2 and I'll take 2.
Alrighty.
How's that? And then
Okay,
we can
sounds
just
good.
show them the site and then they can do it.
Yes,
And that's how we'll get it through.
Okay, then. Good. Alrighty, so come up here. I'll get to